There wasn't anything more disgusting today than Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine, who literally pulled out the old, how long have you been beating your wife? I mean, it was stunning. We know the allegations against Pete. We know that Pete has been a serial cheater on his wives. That is known, okay? So that's fair game, I guess. If you want to go there, you can go there. You could go with the anonymous, the alleged rape accuser. Her story fell apart. It was telling that pretty much nobody really zeroed in too much on that one. But how long have you been beating your wife is defamatory, not literally, because you can't sue senators for what they're saying in this context. But my point is, that was so below the belt for Tim Kaine. Let's just take a listen to some of Tim Kaine today.
At that time, you were still married to your second wife, correct?
I believe so.
And you had just fathered a child by a woman who would later become your third wife, correct?
Senator, I was falsely charged, completely investigated, and completely cleared.
So you think you were completely cleared because you committed no crime. That's your definition of cleared? You had just fathered a child 2 months before by a woman that was not your wife. I am shocked that you would stand here and say you're completely cleared.
Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth, and she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
And she was, and you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Those were false charges. Well, it was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared. And I'm so grateful for the marriage I have to this amazing woman behind me.
You've admitted that you had sex at that hotel on October 2017. Now, if it had been a sexual assault, that would be disqualifying to be Secretary of Defense, wouldn't it?
It was a false claim then and a false claim now.
If it had been a sexual assault, that would be disqualifying to be Secretary of Defense, wouldn't it?
That was a false claim.
So you're
talking about a hypothetical.
So you can't tell me whether someone who has committed a sexual assault is disqualified from being Secretary of Defense?
Senator, I know in my instance, and I'm talking about my instance only, it was a false claim.
That's good. I assume that in each of your weddings, you've pledged to be faithful to your wife. You've taken an oath to do that, haven't you?
Senator, as I've acknowledged to everyone in this committee, not a perfect person, not claiming to be.
But no, I just asked a simple question. You've taken an oath like you would take an oath to be Secretary of Defense in all of your weddings to be faithful to your wife. Is that correct?
I have failed in things in my life, and thankfully I'm redeemed by my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Okay. I will get to the domestic violence accusation in a second, because that was the wrong soundbite, but it is a relevant soundbite that we want to get to. This guy with his holier than thou on the cheating allegations and what he did was Hillary Clinton's running mate.
Yeah.
Okay? So this man was fine with Bill Clinton, right? This man who wants us to believe any extramarital activity is abhorrent to him. He's disgusted by it. That's the same Tim Kaine, right? We're talking about the same man. Bill Clinton, no problem, fine. But as president, right? Or Hillary too. But this is a bridge too far, Pete Hegseth, even after he's admitted to being, unfaithful in his marriages and then getting on the straight and narrow. This is the guy. Look at him with his head on Bill Clinton's shoulder. He loves Bill Clinton. Accused by sexual assault or rape by how many women? How many affairs has he had on Hillary Clinton? And he wants to get out there and lecture us on Pete Hegseth, Michael Knowles.
It was a complete joke, so it was fitting that Tim Kaine looked like Jack Nicholson's Joker from the Tim Burton Batman. Someone needed to hand that man a comb before he walked into the hearings. And he goes there with that wild look on his face, and he says, "You think you're cleared just because you were cleared of charges against you?" To which Pete Hegseth he didn't say anything. He just said, yeah, that's literally what it means, Senator. But then he goes on, as you say, he's preening about this. This is a man that we've only ever heard of because of his political alliance with the Clintons. This is also a man who voted in federal law to abolish the definition of marriage. So listen, I'm gratified that Tim Kaine has had this sudden change of heart and he now takes so seriously the sanctity of marriage. And also, I'll give Tim Kaine credit. His attack on Pete Hegseth's personal life was by far the strongest of any of the similar attempted attacks from the other Democrat senators. And the fact that Kaine's was the strongest shows you just how weak it was. But the rest of them, Elizabeth Warren, Gillibrand, for goodness sakes, Mazie Hirono, they didn't even come close. So the Democrats came out there. Tammy Duckworth, give me a break. It was really, really weak. And so I'm actually surprised, because knowing that Pete's was going to be the first confirmation hearing, the canary in the coal mine, I expected the Democrats to make this Kavanaugh 2.0. However, Pete Hegseth had a real advantage going into this hearing, which is that people thought, because he's a good-looking guy who smiles well and did a morning TV show, people thought that this guy was kind of dumb or incompetent. And they failed to look at his resume, which kept coming up today, to realize he's extremely educated. He has served his country honorably. He's been under fire, literally, on many occasions. And he was not going to be pushed around by Kristen Gillibrand or Elizabeth Warren, or certainly not Tim Kaine. It looked, from the perspective of Pete, it looked like he was shooting fish in a barrel.
Okay, I just want to say one more thing about Tim Kaine. All right, so first of all, not only was he running for office with Hillary Clinton, he was totally fine with the Clintons' behavior, no problem whatsoever. But Pete Hegseth is a bridge too far for him, okay? Fine. But he was campaigning with Doug Emhoff after the allegations against Doug Emhoff about banging the nanny while still married to his first wife, allegedly impregnating said nanny, and then she lost the baby somehow, and abusing some other girlfriend by slamming her in the face. Tim Kaine out there with Doug Emhoff. Yeah, let's go blue. But Pete Hegseth is a disgusting dirtbag who little Tim Kaine can't stand. This is like how it just oozed out of my, like you're watching it, you're like, disdain is oozing out of my pores. Like, I have to tell you, Michael, it's very hard, especially for someone in my position or your position, to sit in there and not stand up and start answering the questions. Like, are you fucking kidding me, Tim Kaine? Take a seat. Like, it was very, very hard. And then I've got to get to point number 2 on Tim Kaine. I know the allegations against Pete backward and forward. Trust me. I have researched them all. I did a comprehensive interview with the guy where we went over every single one. Beating his wife is not on the list. And the nerve of Tim Kaine to come out there and throw it out there. Watch.
Did you ever engage in any acts of physical violence against any of your wives?
Senator, absolutely not.
But you would agree with me that if someone had committed physical violence against a spouse, that would be disqualifying to serve as Secretary of Defense, correct?
Senator, absolutely not have I ever done that.
You would agree that that would be a disqualifying offense, would you not?
Senator, you're talking about a hypothetical.
I don't think it's a hypothetical. Violence against spouses occurs every day. And if you as a leader are not capable of saying that physical violence against a spouse should be a disqualifying fact for being secretary of the most powerful nation in the world, you're demonstrating an astonishing lack of judgment.
He didn't seem to care about Doug Emhoff's violence against women, which actually is backed up by a whole report by an attorney who was his girlfriend, who she filed it anonymously, but she filed it in the Daily Mail. What is he talking about? What is this? This is just a blatant character assassination attempt.
Megyn, is it wrong that I'm most scandalized in that stupid question by the inability of a sitting U.S. senator to know what a hypothetical is? Tim Kaine said, if such and such occurred, that would be disqualifying, right? And Pete rightly said, Senator, you're asking me to engage in a hypothetical. And Tim Kaine, with this unearned haughtiness, says, I don't think that's a hypothetical. It's literally a hypothetical. That's how the English language works. That is not up for debate, Senator. This is supposed to be the greatest deliberative body in the world. These people have a loose grasp on the English language. We haven't even gotten to Mazie Hirono yet. No serious country would ever have Mazie Hirono as a senator. It was appalling, Megyn.
Are you ready to make better sleep your New Year's resolution? Let me tell you about Cozy Earth. Their sheets made with 100% premium viscose from bamboo are incredibly soft, breathable, and get even softer with every wash. Good sleep is essential to your routine. gives you the energy to tackle your day and feel your best. Cozy Earth also prioritizes quality and care with a 100-night sleep trial. You try their sheets out for up to 100 nights, and if you do not love them, they let you return them for a full refund. Who else does that? And for cozy nights and relaxed mornings, their bamboo pajama set is another must-have. It's soft, breathable, and sleeps cooler than cotton, keeping you perfectly comfortable. A better year starts with better sleep. Wrap yourself in Cozy Earth. Visit cozyearth.com/Megyn. Use my exclusive code Megyn, MEGYN, for up to 40% off your order. That's cozyearth.com/Megyn. And if you get a post-purchase survey, tell them you heard about Cozy Earth from the Megyn Kelly Show. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.